All right, the next session that I'm going to go through is adding teams after you've set a schedule. So in this example, I'm going to show I've booked a schedule for my 6U teams, which as we left off in session 1, this is where we were. We had 8 teams currently. Let's just say as registration expanded, more teams were added. It went from 8 teams to 12 teams. The process I would have to do would be to go back to the home screen. First thing you have to do is delete the schedule, right? Because you've already got it set to a random based on 8 teams. You're now going to have to do it random based on 12. If you were to do it in the middle, it would create a number of issues and you have an unbalanced schedule. So I'm going to delete that. I'm then going to go over to teams. You can see here I can expand the 6U column. I've got our 8 teams in here. What I need to do is create my new teams. So I'm going to create the 6U Nationals, give them an abbreviation of 6U Nat. Done. I'm going to create 3 more teams, so this will make it from 8 to 12. I created the Nationals as my 9th team. 6U Mariners, 6U MAR. Create another one. 6U Rays, 6U Ray, and then 6U Red Sox, 6U RSOX. Alright. Now I can see on the left hand side here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 teams. Sorry, I only created 11. Let's create one more. Which one did I miss doing? Let's create, is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's create a 6U. Giants. 6U Giants. Ooh. Okay. Now I've got 12 teams in 6U. Now, as I referenced in session 1, it's critical here that you make sure you assign them a home field. So if I click on the venues, Mills Field 6, as you can see here, it shows my original 8 teams. So I'm going to have to go in here to edit mode. It shows me all of my teams along the right-hand side. I could sort and only see the teams in a certain division, so 6U. And you can see there are 5 teams here that do not have an assigned division. So I'm going to highlight them by holding the Shift key. And I'm going to drag them over here and hit done. So I have to do all of that before I can go schedule games because, as I mentioned, you have to have a home field venue for every team. So now I can go back down to the round robin. It's got my settings on here. As you can see, it now tells me I need 65 games. I have 104. Still going to use my weekend method, like all my other settings, 2 per week, venues, rotating teams by this. Uncheck that. Certain days of the week first. I still have my same settings I had before, so I'm good there. And I'm gonna begin to schedule this one out. Alright, so it had some problems. What I'm going to do is the first go round, I'm going to hit the keep rotating team pairings, see if that helps build it out. Sometimes it does. It's going to go through a number of those settings real quick. As you can see here, it's rotating. There's 12 different rotations because there's 12 different teams, so it's rotating them all through in a cycle to to see if it can find a solution that fits based on that. So we let it run its process. And at any time you could end that. I'm actually going to go ahead and end it for this purpose because I don't think it's going to work based on this scenario. So I just hit the X. It takes me back to the very beginning. I have to do my settings again. It's going to schedule. So I'm just going to get hung up again. The next setting, what I'm going to do is try to ignore the home and visitor balance and see if that finds a solution. It did not. I'm then going to try turn off weekend method for the rest, see if that makes it fit. And it did. As you can see here, I now have a solution that fits. So this is part of the schedule process that you need to go through and just go through trialing these different scenarios. I'm going to take it to the master calendar just so I can see how this schedule shaped out. Still loading. There it goes. Now you can see in this schedule scenario, if you remember in the 8 teams scenario, we basically had all weekend games and then Tuesdays used. As you can see here, we're using all Saturdays, we're using all of Tuesdays. It then went and began to fill in games on Thursday, and then you can see even a smattering of games on Mondays. At this point, Wednesdays and Fridays appear to be open across the entire week. So that's how you add teams to a schedule. That concludes session 2 of round robin scheduling games. I'll have another one with some additional settings that you can go through as you build out your schedule. All right, thanks.